Peoples. All right, what's up? We covered a few things already, a few topics. How about past lives? It's a pretty big one. Pretty big one. I've only had one, but it definitely shaped my life ever since. In many ways, some ways I can't even explain or even aware of, really. But it was powerful. It was so powerful. I can honestly share with you that I cried hard for long. It was like an epic saga. I woke up exhausted. I was young. This was back when Apple 2GS was our desktop. We had 3 1/4 drives and floppy drives. 3 1/4 was the new shit. But anyway, yeah. So one night I had a dream. So I was young, probably teens, early teens, and I had a dream that was so profound. I was a little mentally handicapped girl whose parents, I guess during that time, I'll guess anywhere between the 1920s and 50s. Maybe it was earlier than that. Probably was earlier than that, but I that's my feel. We'll split the difference, say 40s. But anyway, I was mentally handicapped, and at this time period, people, I guess it was just kind of normal. They didn't, if they didn't want to kill the kid outright, abort them, they would ship them away. Either they were just too much to handle, or it was a stain on their genetic line, their family line, right? I don't know. So I was this little girl. My parents drove me upstate. I felt upstate, whatever that means. Wooded area, very wooded, somewhat hilly. That's all I could tell you. And into like this camp. I didn't know at the time. I was just this little girl. My parents dropped me off. I remember sitting in a big auditorium or amphitheater type of thing, actually, outside. And I was on the wooden bench with my parents, and a person was speaking on the stage. They had a little collared shirt on, a little, company emblem or something. And it ended, and then my parents left, and I was left behind. Maybe I just thought it was a summer camp for a while there. Who knows, right? It was that split level of where I was experiencing that life, but I was also viewing it from above. And I could analyze it, think, at least through some parts of it. Anyway, the dream goes through all the different, ins and outs of being in that camp and the interactions. It moves forward, and there's a caretaker who starts to become friendly with me, and I think is really nice, and other kids like him. And as the dream progresses, as it goes forward into the future in the dream, his energy and even the way he looks starts to trend down, if the best way to describe it. It's not happy and friendly anymore. Then it gets to the point where he's taking us all back to his, I guess, workshop or whatever, or at least me and a couple kids. And as we're getting closer to the workshop, I keep feeling more and more dread, darker, heavier. And I remember every time I looked back, he was looking more and more evil, for lack of a better word, ill intent. Until we got to the shadow of the porch of this facility, cottage workshop thing. And at that point in time, I realized it was too late. When I looked back, his face was completely distorted, and I knew things were not good. And we went into the house, and we walked into the dark house. I could see rooms off to the left and to the right. Some had curtains, some were just locked doors, and maybe the door was ajar, and I could see blood. I could see images, fast-forwarding images of scenes within each of these locations as I was walking through this dream, knowing something horrible was happening. And I knew this man was doing terrible, unspeakable things to children. And as I got further in the house, I know I ran here, I hid there, but I knew up here, I knew that I was not going to make it out of this, or many kids didn't. He murdered people here. He murdered kids here, and did unspeakable acts. And I was just one of the next ones in line. Somehow, I got away. It's not that I ran away. I think he did what he did or wanted to do with me that day. And then I went back into the camp ranks. But I got the courage and realized that I needed to tell somebody. And if it was up to me and only me at this point, all these other children were going to have a worse fate. And many had already. So I got the courage. I started running to tell the guard. I knew if I could just get to the guard's desk and tell him what was going on, we would be saved of this man. And I ran and I ran and I ran, and sure enough, he's behind me. Even though I didn't see him, I knew he was behind me. And I guess I tripped. I guess I fell. And then I stopped having the first-person dream at all entirely. And I hovered above, and I could see my body out on the ground with this one scarf that I always had with me. I don't know why, just a scarf, and it was covered with blood. And I just saw my bloody body there, and he had gotten to me before I could get to the guard and stabbed and killed me. The end, right? But after the dream, when I came out of the dream, but I haven't woken up yet, that classic in-between state, I reviewed the dream, and I could pick out, and I was labeling every single snippet of the dream with the symbolism and what it meant and how it was impactful. I mean, just all the way through this long, epic dream. I mean, I'm just making it short, right? But it was so strong when I actually woke up. I went downstairs, got in front of my computer, my old school Dinobot computer, and I wrote maybe 20 pages of this dream, just line for line, crying the entire damn time. I'm a dude. I was a young teenager. I'd cry writing dreams, but I did. I let it out. It flooded out of me. Like it came from above. I never could understand it. But as soon as that happened, and I didn't even know what this was at the time, right? I just knew right? I couldn't put it all together. I went out to bookstores or some like book sale and found somehow, this is just a bunch of books lying around, found these books about past lives. No interest before that, not even with spirituality, really. Many Lives, Many Masters was one of them. Got a bunch behind me. Well, I won't list them, but a bunch of them. And I started reading them and going through them and devouring them. And oh my God, this is what happened to me. This was my experience. And it just led to another and to another and to another. And we'll go through and we'll catalog these things going forward. I like to share them with you and see if you have similar episodes. But that was definitely one that started it all. And we'll dovetail into the not so good side of spirituality as well, the angels and demons part, and that's also pretty mind blowing. So, want to share again? Have a great evening. Have a wonderful weekend. See y'all later.